Hey, what's up, everybody? This is our market update video for Thursday. Man, this week has gone by. Seems like it went by fast, but it seemed like it also went by super slow. And tomorrow's Friday. I'm super excited for that part of the week. But man, it's been an awesome trading week. We've caught well over, I'd say over 400 or 500 pips as a group so far. So before I go anywhere, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate your support, and it helps my videos rank. I mean, if you look back at all the YouTube videos I've done, man, every single day for a long time, almost without a break, every now and then. So please just like, comment, subscribe. I try to put as much value out there as possible, and that helps with the ranking. And if you'd like to be a part of our amazing community of traders, click the link below to get started. We have the best community out there. I'm not just saying that. It's uplifting. It's a positive place to learn. And, I'm in there every single day, trading the New York session, definitely the New York session. Yesterday I did get up and I put a GU trade on. So sometimes London and Asian session as well. So click those links below to get started. I really appreciate the support. COVID-19, we're getting through this, and who knows what it's going to be like after all this is done. But I know one thing for me, what I've really just kept doing is putting my head down and working, and not just like, I'm going to work, but more like from a place of, this isn't going to stop me reaching my dreams and reaching my goals and becoming a better trader, becoming a better human. And, no matter what they throw at me, you and the market, it's so the ones that last are the ones that have that attitude for sure. And eventually the universe is like, man, you know what, guy, this guy isn't giving up. I'm gonna open the door for him, and eventually a door opens. So let's see if we can make some doors open this week. So there's a nice little segue for you. So let's take a look at specifically talking about doors opening. I really think there's a lot of opportunities with the yen pairs. Here is Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, and unfortunately, the dog is trying to put a stick in my lap. We just got stopped out from this re-entry, but look, I'm still bearish. And when I put a trade on, I really want to emphasize this. That doesn't necessarily mean it's just like, okay, this is the trade, and we're in it, we're short. If we get stopped out, that's all she wrote, really. And I've done videos about this. This is my market bias. My bias from a long-term standpoint. And I was talking to Brooke from the group, from our VIP group, and she was asking me about how to determine like what she's going to trade and how to basically make a trading strategy. And for me, it's all about determining a bias and then trading around that. So here's my look on Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. And as long as we're below this line here, which is this really heavy resistance, which has proved itself multiple times again. I mean, just in the past 2 weeks, we keep knocking up against it. I mean, look at all these dojis and wicks on these candlesticks. So man, this is like a heavily trafficked area for sure. So we keep knocking up and getting rejected. So as long as we stay underneath here, then I'm still looking for us to go lower. And even so, it doesn't really, of course, I don't like hitting a stop loss, of course, and losing money for sure. But overall, I'm trying to, and this has helped me tremendously as a trader, especially if I'm talking about establishing biases. Once I have a bias that, okay, long term, I'm bearish, and now that means where we going? So, we have a few 100 pips to the downside here, and if my game plan is to sell rallies, so in other words, we get a move lower, and then I wait for a bounce higher, and then I sell that bounce. If my game plan is to sell rallies, then we have a good there's a lot of opportunities to say the 38.2% retracement, which is around 87.50. Yeah, so 87.50, 87.60, where's that at? 87.30. So there's a lot of opportunities between here and there if we play our cards right. So, and when we got stopped out was during the session change with in between New York and Asian session. So, that definitely, you know, there's nothing you can really do about that so much unless you just take the stop losses off altogether, which, hey, really honestly isn't too bad of an idea. Just remember to put them back on there. So this is this area I'm looking for, 38.2% retracement. So we have quite the confluence here. So we have this 38.2, which is right there. We have this moving average that came in, way back there. The actual moving average itself. This is a 4-hour. Comes in at 89.26. But really, if I use moving averages, which I just do to kind of get a broad idea, then I go to the daily chart. And so that has this at around 90. So we still have a ways away, and also this looks like we could be carving out a bit of a double top here. So we have, this would be the neckline for us to break, for it to be a confirmed double top. But all the ingredients are there that I like to look for when I'm looking for a double top or M structure, as I like to teach, especially beginners, that, we're looking for M's and W's. Very simple. And then when you tie in this divergence component, plus, we have this moving average here that's more like, almost like a tractor beam, which is like a magnet pulling us down towards it, then a lot of things are going for Australian dollar, Canadian dollar to the downside. Now, furthermore, if what we're doing is we're trading off correlations, and correlations for me is the secret sauce. It's once I really figured out correlation, now they don't nothing works every time in trading, for sure. So don't just completely trade off of the correlations, but what they do, what they are, is they're a component. We're looking for the way the puzzle pieces put together. Trading is definitely like a puzzle, and the more that we can just like find the different pieces, and especially if you think of it this way, like if a jigsaw puzzle, getting those outside pieces, so then you can have that out of the way and then you put it together from the inside. Then I don't even know if people do jigsaw puzzles anymore. Probably not, but I used to do them back in the day with my grandmother before we had computers, and things were easier back then. I don't know, maybe we should go back to that. So the assignment for the weekend: do a jigsaw puzzle with your grandma if you're able to. So all right, so here is dollar CAD. So Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, we just put together the puzzle pieces that we've been respecting, this massive layer of resistance. We have this moving average right here, which is acting like a tractor beam, which is pulling us towards it. We have the 38.2% retracement here. Plus, we have some massive divergence. And let's just remember, too, we've had quite a few tries at a breakout here, and it never happened. So false breakout typically leads to a breakdown. If that's our mantra for the day or for the week or altogether as a trading mantra, you just need one that works. So really remember that. You just need one that works. So here we are in dollar CAD. And man, there's a lot going on here for sure. If I just looked at this chart, I would say, well, okay, bullish pennant, flag, type structure, descending triangle, and it's all of those for sure. But the question is, man, it's a good looking one too. If we go to the daily chart, that is like from a textbook for sure. But the thing is that if I looked at that, I would say, oh man, that's a continuation structure, and we're gonna break out higher here. And because you can just look at gold. I'm not gonna go there right now. But you can just look at gold. We've been breaking out of these structures one after the other, after the other, after the other. But we look like we're a bit at a stopping point here, and the reason why is multiple reasons. But if we haven't broken out already in dollar CAD, I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for us to do that, because this week was really quite the risk off week. Oh man, I looked at the recording. I was like, I thought I forgot to press record there for a second. I'm glad we're recording. So I'm looking at the S&P 500 here, and we've had quite the risk off week. Of course, it's not like how it was, I guess back in March when this thing started, March 9th. But for the big recovery rally that we've had, so thus far, it's been quite a down week. And, we've had some big moves down. And right now, the dollar is acting as a safe haven currency of choice. Like, if you want to see what the dollar's going to do, just have a look at what's going on with the stock market, because investors, when everything's going to hell in a handbasket, the dollar still is the king, right? So it still reigns supreme. So we got a bit of a recovery today in the S&P 500, right? And so this is, if we go back to dollar CAD, this is what we saw here. Because man, this morning it really looked like we're about to break out higher and maybe even start to squeeze. But a few people in my group were like, oh man, here goes dollar CAD. And I was sweating a little bit myself, because I was short, or I am short still, because I was short, and this looked pretty convincing right here. But sometimes you gotta stick to your guns. And so also, I'm thinking of all the other correlations, and I've been trading Australian dollar, Canadian dollar for the past like 2 weeks now. People in my group are probably sick of getting the AUD CAD signals for sure, but they continue on. They continue on until the setup is invalidated, right? So when you see an opportunity like that, you got to just keep on, using it to like get as much out of it as you can, for sure. Especially if it fits your style or fits your so here's a nice little double top in here within this big structure. And so we've moved up, and we've invalidated it more or less, or it actually played itself out, because the downside move here was equal to the top right there. So it's kind of irrelevant right now. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but if our mantra is false breakout typically leads to a breakdown, well, we're right in the middle of it right now. And I really like the setup so much. And I want to just draw on this for a second, because it's fun, but even more importantly, you can really illustrate. Here is the false breakout point, and we rallied past like 141.40, so almost like 40 pips outside of this structure right here, and definitely enough to get traders on to get traders going long, to fake them out. I think I would call that a textbook fake out for sure. And and if you got faked out by it, don't beat yourself up about it, that's for sure, because it definitely was convincing. And I cut one of my trades off for a loss but I didn't cut them all, right? So a lot of times what I do sometimes too when I'm down is I scale out of a losing position as well, just how you would take partial profits. So you can do the same thing in a loss to more or less like soften the blow, or when it looks like, man, I don't know if this is completely gone yet. And so in the case of dollar CAD, it wasn't. So we have a lot of room before to this downside part of the pennant. So we have a good 200-300 pips. I've been saying what I would love to see in the setup, and right now crude hasn't had its big bust out, and it has been making moves higher, but I think by its big bust out, I'm talking like back to 40. And when that does happen, I think it's going to be like probably in the course of like a day, 2 days, because the way it'll be off the back of some sort of catalyst, and that will be a massive mover, because they want those prices. They want the prices back to more of a median price, because oil, there's a finite amount of it, right? So you can only make so much money out of what's left of it. But I'm sure they're not doing too bad, the people that are in control of it anyway. So at the very center of the people controlling the oil. So, but what I would love to see is a breakout or breakdown from here, and a closing of this gap. So, man, that's going to be a massive move. But honestly, I don't think we're too far away from it. And this little false breakout that we had today could have been the catalyst. And you can look at it multiple ways here. Maybe we've been trying to break out once, twice. So, that is definitely a possibility. And if that's the case, if this is the way our trend line set up here, then I just now saw this. Then we're just retested for like higher. So that is something to watch for. If you're in my group and you're in this trade, make sure that your stop loss, that entry, that you've pulled some profits. But dollar CAD is one I'm going to be watching very, very close. And the thing is, if this happens, it's not the end of the world. So, man, you have to remember to, like Bruce Lee said, be like water, because being able to flow in and out, not being so married to a position that it's like, oh my God, I have to see dollar CAD close this gap, or else I'll look stupid. Like, I don't know what reasons that we hold on to trade positions. Like I do, obviously do it too. That I have to prove myself right that this is dollar CAD's closing the gap. And I think it gets back to some definitely some psychological stuff that we won't be like, oh, wait, I was wrong there. So let me just, it looks like a retest here. So here's a retest, and it looks like I was wrong. So now we're bouncing off this moving average, and we're gonna move higher. Now, that is a completely possible scenario, and it might happen in the next 24 hours. And all we did here from a technical standpoint was go from here, which is okay. So now we have a false breakout higher. The breakout didn't materialize, and we broke back inside. Or this is what's really going on, and we just didn't have enough upside momentum for the dollar strength to continue. So if we get a bigger sell-off in the stock market tomorrow, then that might be the case. But either way, what I was about to say is it's not the end of the world. After all, this is a continuation structure, and that would have us moving up to the top of this, at least textbook, like, traditionally, if we break out of this descending triangle, then we retrace to to the top of the triangle. Sorry, guys, my allergies are super bad right now. Also, just to give a little asterisk, but so bear with me. So that wouldn't be the end of the world, because then, oh man, now we're going to 145. So we're at 140 right now. And we can actually go out to a monthly chart, and that would make, wow, look at that inverted head and shoulders, kind of, but man, I haven't looked at a monthly chart for dollar CAD in forever. But wow, if you go to this, so see, this is why it's so important to to zoom out and get a bigger picture here. Look at this wick last time back in January 2015, and here we are 5 years later. February 2016. Here we are 5 years later, and man, look at this level of resistance. So breaking out of this is going to be a big deal. It's going to be super hard to do, and oh boy, look at this. If we do retrace lower and close that gap that I was talking about, and the blue line here is where that gap is, and hey, you can actually see the little gray box there. If we, this is the gray box, this is the gap. This would be a massive double top. So if we're trading around a bias, and I'm like, oh man, look, there's a huge double top on the monthly time frame, I'm short, I'm bearish dollar CAD. That means now I'm going to look for opportunities for let me use my handy, I should use this more because it's actually super cool and fun to use, and I love trading on my iPad. So if we started breaking down here, then I'm looking for spots that would be like entry, take some profits there. And of course, this is the perfect scenario. It never happens like this, but I wish it would. And then take some profits there, take some profits here, and boom, right, there's another entry. And then you can be building a position all the way down to, where would that be? I highly doubt that's going to happen, that we get back to parity. Hey! Sorry, the dog's going crazy. I apologize. They're going to knock over my computer. So I really doubt this is going to happen. That happened back in May 2004. That would mean the dollar, the worth of Canadian dollar and US dollar would be equivalent. That would be nuts. But if we had this big old double top here, right? That would make sense. So you could make a whole bias around that of selling rallies on the way down. So man, this video has been much longer than I intended it to be. So let's just take a look at two pairs. I don't know if you can hear the dogs. Like, it's like a dog fighting ring right now. Okay, so here's euro yen. I was talking about this on Sunday, and they haven't seen each other all day. I was talking about this on Sunday, and I said we're either breaking down lower here and confirming this, the breaking of this support here, or we're gonna have a false breakdown. So here's the other side. So just a minute ago we were talking about false breakouts. So we would have a false breakdown. So this would be the hey, Shiva. So this would be the they're not listening. this would be the false breakdown point right here, and it looked super convincing on last week. That's for sure, about us breaking down here. You know, we kept having these moves lower. The only thing that had me a bit like maybe this isn't happening is the divergence here, and man, it really wasn't too much. That was us going into last week, and honestly, no divergence. Actually, there was. Let's just, sometimes if you do this, I need to do this as well. If you look at it like that, so you can be like, okay, where was the market actually? Like, what did it look like before I started drawing on it and messing it up? That's what it would have looked like, and so then that would have been a divergence there, and then you can see we had some big moves lower. I'm actually going to I'm taping this, so I'm gonna have this on the so it's gonna be available on my YouTube pay-per-view. All right, so now we're looking at euro yen here, but this is a straight up false breakdown there. So we've broken back inside, and I would argue that we haven't quite moved, broken back inside there, but we are pretty close. So, but the fact that we keep getting moves higher today, especially, and across the board with not only euro, also dollar yen, and so this is that level that I'm looking at, right? So and looking on long term, then here we are. Like, this would be a massive drop, and it would have had to have been quite the event for that to happen. But like I said, it didn't. And a lot of times when it looks like we're going to have these big moves like that, but had that been a move lower, that would have been a big event for the market. It would have been a big event for the market. Then a lot of times, I am suspicious. Let me just put it that way. And it's I've learned that over the years, and more and more now, especially now that I've employed this this strategy of looking for false breakdowns of false breakouts. So here we are, inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, and really, I'll just use this. This is the neckline right here for EJ and for this structure. So we bounced really nicely off of that, and I've already have a some fanning trend lines set out here from a previous video, but these are our targets, right? So now that we've established that, or at least have the thesis that this was a false breakdown here, false breakdown, we've broken back inside. And so now what are we looking for? We're looking for opportunities to buy dips moving forward, going to test these upper trend lines. And these trend lines we've gotten from our different fractal patterns and dots guiding us, right? So this one makes very nice sense. And again, we're looking for confluences here. And man, I didn't mean to, I wish if I planned it out, I wouldn't be able to find everything and that have it tied together as perfectly as it is, because this is just so nice, because here's a confluence. And remember earlier I said we're looking for this moving average, which is going to act like a tractor beam or a magnet for us to hit these higher prices. And so here we are. There's all these different signs. Here's our moving average. This is on the daily chart. And here is our trend line. Let's just have a look at what it would look like. from this high on our Fibonacci's to the false breakdown low. And my God, what do we have here, folks? Look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The 61.8% retracement. So this is, now I've got my targets. Now I've got my targets long term, and that takes us to 119. And I'll tell you, if you're in my VIP group, we're going to be trading that all next week. So there you go. And if you're not in the VIP group, you really, really should be. If you want to learn how I pick out these patterns and can find them again and again and again, I will teach you. So here we are on UJ. Now we're looking for correlations here, and this played out so nicely, and so nice. I don't know if that's how you'd say it, but it played out very nicely. There we go. So we have our breakdown here and trend line, which came into play perfectly, right? Because we broke out of here, and man, honestly, these days it seems like you don't see a good breakout and retest. Like it's like a thing of the past. It's a thing of the olden days, the old just trend line breakout and retest. If only it were that simple, but here we are, trend line breakout and retest. So we're looking good for some higher prices, and 108.20. We do need to take out this high. Now, if we take out that high, our our targets are pretty clearly defined, and I would be looking at, as well as millions of other people, I'll be looking at this fractal line right here. I think it was a little bit higher than I previously had that box, but 108.62 and even higher, because then we can go out and remember. So we're going outside, trying to get the big picture. The dogs are round two right now. There we go. They're going at it again. So, but all because these false breakdowns, and with dollar yen here, this really could have been a false breakdown too. I know a lot of people, dude, they're going crazy. I know a lot of people were looking for 104 and even lower. So, but oh man, okay, you guys got to watch my Instagram. This is going nuts. But so dollar yen, we have some big buy on dips opportunities here. So we're buying dips on EJ, and we're selling rallies on buying dips on EJ, buying dips on UJ, and selling rallies on dollar CAD. And that's really what I'm looking at right now. So I think we had some great opportunities. It was really chaotic there. The price action for the past few days has been pretty chaotic. There we go. Pretty chaotic and very hard to read. Big range going on, but it really looked like it's today pulled together out of the chaos. And man, if you stuck with me this long in the video, I really didn't mean for it to be this long. Honestly, it's only going to be like 10 minutes. And my video editor guy, Cameron, I'm sorry, dude. I told him it's going to be like 5 or 10 minute video. But there's a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that needed to be shared with you all. So, I hope you found this video helpful. There's plenty more and more and more and more where that came from in my trading group. I really hope to see you in there one day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the link below to get started. Oh yeah, and 70% off. That actually ends finally this weekend. So for real, take advantage of that, and then we'll be priced like every other normal trading group. It's not going to be like everybody else where it's 2,400, but honestly, it should be. But right now it's 200, and you know, it's accessible to everybody. The way I teach, the way I just broke down that whole price action for long term to short term, you know, I became profitable and consistent when I was able to simplify things, and that's exactly how I teach it too. So if that interests you, click the link below to get started, and I will see you in the chat room, everybody. Let's finish strong tomorrow, Friday. Hope you're being safe out there. I know you are. I mean, that whatever's going around. There's the same numbers of sick people last year as they were this year so far. So it's not, it's the same. But anyways, all that aside, there is a bigger plan at work, and I know you have a big role to play in it. So whether you believe that or not, I know you do. So thanks for your support. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the chat room. Peace. See you, everybody.